In this video, I want to share with you why it is infinitely times better to start today rather than waiting. I know how you feel. I waited several years because I thought I needed more money, more experience, but none of that's going to matter more than gaining skills and knowledge from actual in-the-field experience. So let's talk about a reason why people don't start a business, especially in real estate. Number one being not enough money. And I'd love to break it to you, but you actually don't need money to invest in real estate. Because you could borrow money from friends or family, partner with someone that has experience, or you could just start with wholesaling, which doesn't really require cash if you do it the right way. Number two is no experience. I totally understand why this is something that kind of deters people. One starts with no experience. Every professional athlete, every doctor, every lawyer, at one point they had no experience doing what they're doing now. So if you want to overcome this, continue to do your education on YouTube, but also take action at the same time. Go join some communities, your local RIA, search in your city plus REIA or Real Estate Investing Association, and go to those local meetups several times, every single one if you can, for 6 months until you know some of the members by name and you have their phone numbers so you'll be able to call them if you have any sort of questions. Or you can just work for someone else that's doing the business. Any sort of investor out there probably needs someone that can relieve some of the pressure from whatever they're doing. A wholesaler like me, you can make cold calls for me. That would be great. Go work for a fix and flip investor. You could go pick up materials for them, go meet contractors on the job site, go take pictures of properties or update them on how a project is going so they don't have to go drive down there. All sorts of things that you can do for them to add value so they can be more productive doing higher value activities, and in exchange they'll give you experience and make some money too. I think is the biggest reason why people don't start and take risks is because they are failed afraid. One reason why people don't take risks or start a business is because they are scared to fail and to be embarrassed. But really, when you're starting a business, you kind of have to punch humility in the face. And you also should realize that failure only happens when you quit. If you learn from a bad experience, then you take that experience and you put it towards your next venture, then you get paid in education and in experience. So now you're more prepared for your next business instead of waiting again, just get on to the next one. I think the worst excuse is that not having enough time. You have to sacrifice something or then you'll never have a chance. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Something has to give. You have to give up Netflix. You have to give up going out drinking with your friends. Time is your most valuable resource. So you don't have any. Figure out what you can do to get it back and use it on what's better for you, not working on someone else's dream. I promise you, no YouTube video waiting 6 months or more time is going to make a difference in whether you succeed or fail. Only taking risk, taking massive action, and reinvesting into yourself and your business will make a difference. With all that said, but why is starting today infinitely better than waiting? Number one, it was easier 10 years ago than it is today, and it's going to be harder tomorrow than it is today. There's going to be more people getting into whatever industry that you want to get into. There'll be more content creators, there'll be more investors, there'll be more everything. So every day that you wait just makes it harder on yourself to find success. Just think about how easy it would have been if you knew what you knew today, 10 years ago, to start a YouTube channel, to start investing in real estate. You could really buy any house that you wanted to 10 years ago, and today it's worth 2.5 times more. And number two being compound growth. Success, money, and growth compounds on itself. So you waiting 5 years to start means that you lose 5 years of compounding your success and your wealth over time. If you start 2 years earlier than what you would have, then that means that you have 2 more years for your growth to be compounding more. If you go over the span of, say, 20 years and you increase your income by, let's say, let's be modest, 15% income growth. So let's say you make $100,000 and you increase by, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, that's very quick. That's a lot. You're making a lot of money in 18 years. That might be unrealistic, but the example is maybe it is your net worth growth. So you make $1.23 million, but you decided to wait 2 years But, you decided to start 2 years earlier. And so at the same time, you have now reached, what is that? $1.6 million. So just by waiting 2 more years, you're really sacrificing a lot of wealth down the road. One of my favorite reasons to think about is that you get to retire early. So let's say you're on the same exact trajectory again. It takes you 25 years to accomplish your goals. If you wait 5 years, that means it will take you 30 years to get there. But if you start today, it's still 25 years. Say at 60 years old, you get to retire. If you started 5 years ago, you retire at 55. So that's more time that you get to live and enjoy doing what you want to do, whether that's travel, spend more time with friends and family. It doesn't matter. But you get more time to be retired later by starting early. So it's infinitely better to start today because it's never going to get easier. You're never going to be more prepared than you are today. There's compound growth on your income, so you end up making more money in the long run, and you'll be able to retire earlier. There's a lot more reasons to start today rather than waiting. There's really not a good reason why to wait. And actually, I'd love for you, if you have any good reasons, let me know in the comments what's a good reason to wait instead of acting today. But what really is most important is that you actually have the drive. You might want something, but do you truly desire it, that you will give up everything that you have in order to achieve it? You would sacrifice your humility of what people think about you, whether you succeed or fail. Will you give up your weekends? Will you give up a potential promotion or a little bit more money on your next pay raise because you start pursuing your own passions and your ambitions? Are you willing to sacrifice all those things for yourself? And if you're not, then I'd say don't start. Continue living the life that you're living. That's totally fine. There's nothing against people who are content. If you're happy, that's ultimately the bottom line. That's what we should all be striving for, is how can we live our best days as often as possible? And if you feel like you're already doing that, then congratulations, you won. But for the people that aren't, and that's who I'm talking to, the people that have these big ambitions, the people that want to start businesses and accomplish amazing things and do amazing things, now is the time. Start today. Think bigger. Take massive action and be a reinvestor. Reinvest in yourself. Reinvest in your friends and family. Reinvest in your education. Reinvest into your business. And finally, reinvest into real estate. If you have felt inspired to go start and take action, let's make this the #1 channel on YouTube for reinvestors, people who reinvest into themselves, into their business, as well as into real estate. Make sure to relieve the subscribe button of its responsibilities and let me know in the comments by telling me, Adam, I am starting today. Again, I am Adam Upchurch. Thank you for watching this video. I'm out. I'm still here. How many takes do you think that took? Seriously. Let me know in the comments. If you watch all the way through, let me know in the comments how many takes that final thing took. It wasn't a lot, but it was more than a couple. I'll give you that. Peace.